Got everything set up here, right? All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another week of 2-point conversion. I'm John alongside Nico, and we're going to be breaking down this past weekend of some football. Nico's pretty invested in the World Cup over there. He's a soccer guy.
Yeah, we
Maybe he
just
can give
drew
us
with
some-
Wales. I'm tight.
It's a final draw.
Yeah.
It's not the worst thing in the world, right?
Eh,
It's not the worst thing in the
we
world.
were the better team the entire game.
It felt like it watching it. It felt like we were
100%.
the better team. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
I just
You want to get it? You want to start with some Giants breakdown? We'll get
Yeah.
that out of the way. Get
Yeah.
that done with.
let's get
I don't
my
know
mind-
if George
let's-
is on yet. I was kind of looking forward to hear what George has to say this week because I did have like a good Giants question that I want to pose to you in a couple minutes. But basically, Giants fall to the Lions. They let the Lions put up 31 points. The run game never got going with Saquon. I think he finished with 22 yards. Daniel Jones was able to move the ball pretty well. I think he went over 300 passing yards for the first time this year, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, there's for sure like pros and cons with that. Obviously, just because he did throw. He looked like he was throwing, and this is like the most receiving game that he had all season in the air. I just think that with asking and demanding him more, like we haven't all season, it also comes with interceptions, and that's what happened. 2 interceptions, and then a fumble on a catch by Isaiah Hodgins, and it was just like
That was tough. That fumble was really tough because it felt like we started to move the ball pretty well, and then sloppy fumble. It's definitely I think the weakest point on the whole roster is the wide receiver room.
and even more now with
Wandale's
Wandale.
done for the year.
Done
which
for the year
stinks.
with
It's really tough because he
yeah.
just had his first ever 100 yard.
Yeah, I mean, in
game.
that game, he was looking phenomenal. He was all over the field.
No Daniel Bellinger, who was having a really good impact at the tight end position. He's out still. And then our cornerback number 1, Adoree Jackson, goes down 4 to 6 weeks now. So we got a tough stretch of games, like you said.
And I think Fabian Moreau, also our second corner, is out.
These divisional games, man. It's going to be tough without him. So, but hey, man, I think this team has been up for the challenge all year. They've already outperformed the expectations. So I don't want to count them out. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to count them out. I'm going to stay positive. This isn't the same old Giants. It's really not. It's really not. They already have 7 wins under their belt, which is more than anyone expected. I think that was already more than Vegas predicted, right? I think Vegas had us at 5.5 or 6.
I think it was
so
4.5.
We're already ahead of pace. You sent me a really cool website last night. The New York Times has like a playoff calculator for every team.
Yeah.
We got to win 3 out of our what? We have how many games left? 6?
So for
7?
on a 100% chance on making the playoffs, I believe, depending on what obviously the other teams do, anything can happen, but we control our destiny if we can.
We got to get to 10 wins.
Yeah, we could beat the Commanders twice. If we beat the Commanders twice, and if we beat the Colts,
they're getting hot.
Yeah.
They're getting hot.
If we could do that, then.
But dude, hey, I know Dallas just had a phenomenal game against the Vikings, but it's a short week for both teams.
Yeah, I mean,
you never know, man.
I'm coming into this week really disappointed, especially on Thanksgiving. Like, it just seems so perfect as a Giant fan that like you're gonna get absolutely blown out by the Cowboys in front of the entire nation.
I'm not gonna count them out, dude. I'm not gonna count.
I just think that what obviously we have been winning games. One of our 3 losses came from the Cowboys, and in this game, we're really short staffed. We don't have 2 of our starting corners, any of our starting wide receivers at this point, and it's just looking like it's not looking.
Third down
great.
Defense really upset me yesterday too. Like we kept getting them to third down, and Jared Goff would make a nice throw and pick up that first down, and that was just really frustrating.
Yeah, something to see is that those third down conversions. Giants came into the week 3rd in third down conversions in the entire league, and the Lions were 23rd in stopping third down offenses. So obviously they're very bad. We were very good on it, and they still showed us up. And even like their line and their secondary, who also have struggled, they shut us down. They really did. We had there was 0 run game. 0.
Literally 0 run game. Yeah, that was tough.
It was almost like as soon as we started getting down, there was no reason to even try it because we knew that it was going to get stopped. So we might as well just throw the ball. And it was working, but not enough.
I want to talk about the Jets real quick, too. That was a tough game for Jets fans. Jets lost to the Patriots on a punt return touchdown in the final 15 seconds. So what's your take on that? I know you're not a big Zach Wilson guy. I'm really not either. I haven't really liked what I've seen.
And I
Jets
think
defense played out of their minds. I mean, 3 points they
Oh,
held the
that was
Patriots to.
100% a great defensive showing from both teams.
Yeah,
even
definitely.
the Patriots played fantastic.
Yeah.
Even though obviously you're dealing with Mac Jones and you're dealing with Zach Wilson, who are also struggling at the moment in the season. But I think that it was a great defensive game, but it's got to hurt. The only thing that hurts more than this Giants loss today has to be the Jets loss. Has to be.
That was a really tough game. Yeah, I'm looking at the stats here. Judon, a sack and a half. He's continuing his Defensive Player of the Year campaign. He's right up there. He's right up there for me. But on the Jets side of the ball, you had Zach Wilson, 9 of 22, 77 yards. That's just not going to get the job done. And then I watched the post-game presser. They asked Robert Saleh, if this keeps up from Zach Wilson, do you give Mike White, do you give Joe Flacco a shot? And he was pretty adamant that no, Zach Wilson is our guy. He's a quarterback. I don't know. I'm not there in the locker room. I don't know if that's for, to keep team morale up, or if he really means it, or if it was just for the public, get off his back.
What I see it as.
We've seen this happen before where a coach will say that's our guy. And then just the next week,
it's exactly what I'm thinking about. I think that they come into next week and the week after, if they have these 2 bad weeks, and completely change up their mindset if he continues to play bad and if they lose games, because I'm kind of seeing a division between the team at the moment. If you saw on Zach Wilson was asked if he let down his defense, and he said, no, I didn't let down my defense. You did let down your defense. You only brought up 3 points, and the craziest stat I think of the year is that in the second half they averaged 2.5 inches a drive, 2.5 a play. Sorry,
I think 2 total yards they had, or something like
2.5 inches a play.
That's really bad.
They didn't pass their own 35, which is pathetic.
You know what's crazy too about this Jets game? They went from second place in the division to last place in the division. And they still have a winning record. They're not in a terrible spot, but that's just how tight the AFC East is. And you got to be able to finish strong in this league. You know what I mean? That's what I'm worried about the Giants too. Great start, but now this is when the really tough football starts. And it's teams like Kansas City last night. You see the veteran leadership from Mahomes and Kelsey. They were down late. They found a way to win. And I'm not comparing the Giants or the Jets to the Chiefs because we're just nowhere near that level yet. But this is that type of football that's going to be played, and you got to be able to finish tough down the stretch. That was a really electric game last night. If we were doing the favorite game segment, I definitely would have picked Chargers, Chiefs in LA. It was exciting. It was a fun game to watch.
I'm not going to pull LeBron. I'm not going to pull LeBron like I did last week, but I am going to say when Mahomes had the ball with 1 minute and 30 seconds left, the game was over. Dude, I didn't know it. It just has happened so many times that you could just tell at this point.
It was exciting to watch.
That offense just moves and moves and moves.
Kelsey, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I had a question for you about this game. After that showing last night, Travis Kelce, I think, broke the record for the most 100-yard games.
Yeah,
tight end.
Just beat Gronk.
And it's not the all-time record or anything, but it is the all-time most 100-yard receiving games. He's not quite there yet in the yardages and touchdowns. If he keeps this up, he will be. Where does Kelce rank right now on your all-time tight ends list?
3.
He's 3?
Yeah.
Tony Gonzalez,
Gronk him.
And what about he has passed Antonio Gates in your mind? Because that's another one people like.
I just think I think that,
and there are some older ones too that I'm forgetting.
I think that Kelce's more of a
good one if anyone's listening.
I think Kelce's more of an athletic wide receiver than anything.
But he's a tight end on paper.
No, obviously, but I think he totally takes himself out of the category of the Jason Wittens and the the Greg Olsons and even Greg Olsen and everyone like that. I feel like he's so different. Him and
Kellen Winslow. Remember him, dude? He was before our time, but that guy was crazy, man.
I'm trying to see who
he has over 6,000 yards. Yeah, he is. He was different. Tony Gonzalez, they have his ranked number 1 on this website, but I'm not really. They have Gronk at number 6 on.
Antonio Gates had three all-team 8-time Pro Bowl, 11,000 yards, 116 touchdowns.
So yeah, Kelce is 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth all time right now in receiving yards by a tight end. He's still got a way to go to catch Tony Gonzalez and Jason Witten, but just the explosiveness,
he almost
the talent.
he almost has half. He has 9,000 yards,
Shannon
which
Sharp,
is
this person says Shannon Sharp.
Shannon Sharp. All
is legit.
Yeah,
he's right ahead of Kelce. Kelsey's
I mean,
at 9.9. Shannon Sharp's at 10,000.
I think that Shannon Sharp has around.
You got to go by touchdowns.
I think he has around 10,000 yards, a little bit more, 62 touchdowns.
Okay, so there's still a couple guys ahead of him in touchdowns too. Witten, Jimmy Graham, Gronk, Gonzalez, and Gates.
When I want to, okay, well, I want to say if we're incorporating,
ooh, I got a fun stat for you here. One more.
If we're incorporating, you want to go? Yeah.
So in one area though that he really shines, Travis Kelce, in receiving yards a game, he's at 72. The next closest is Gronk at 64. So he has really set himself apart in receiving yards a game. He's not quite there yet in the all-time numbers, but he's getting there. I mean, he's fifth all-time in receiving yards by a tight end. Just set the record for most 100-yard games by a tight end. He's an exciting player. He sticks with Mahomes for a couple more years. He'll be top 3 in nearly every category, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that he has an aspect of all these players. I think that I don't see him as a bad run blocker, a bad a blocker at all. Yeah. I see him like Gronk, where he's like a red zone threat. Like he's just always there. I mean, it seems like every time this year, he's in there for the end. He's in there in the end zone for a touchdown, and it's just easy for him. It's easy to move. It's easy to work, and he's just quick.
He's so freaking good.
He was beating Derwin James off the line. One of the best corners in the league. He was beating him off the line easy.
He doesn't look like he should move that fast, and then he does. He's so slippery, finds a way to get open, has insane chemistry with Mahomes. Really fun guy to watch. He's probably top 3 for me all time right now, and we'll see where it's at.
I mean, I'm thinking about it more. Maybe I'll drop him down a little bit, just because obviously I'm favoriting him because he's relevant at the moment, but at the end of his career, I think he'll be up there. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then I had kind of like switch the gears a little bit. I had another question for you. I know we talked about this a little bit earlier, but watching the Chiefs game last night, they kept putting Steve Spagnuolo on the TV, talking about him, his history. Do you think Steve Spagnuolo, who was the Giants' D coordinator for their Super Bowl, one of their Super Bowl wins, and has also been the D coordinator for one of the Chiefs' Super Bowl wins, do you think he's remembered more for his time in New York or more for his time in Kansas City when it's all said and done?
I think it's undoubtedly in Kansas City.
Undoubtedly Kansas City.
Yeah, he's playing with he's playing, and I brought this up to you. Like, you have to think about it like this. He's playing. I know he's a defensive coordinator. He's playing with one of the best offenses ever. Like, they're run like this. Yeah. They can move.
It'll go down in history. This run is Andy Reid.
They can move the ball quick.
It already has gone down in history. Like, if you look at this, like, there's all these crazy stats: consecutive years hosting an AFC championship, consecutive years winning the division. Like, it's crazy, this run that the Chiefs are on. And like, we sometimes like forget what we're realizing, but we're watching history with this guy Mahomes and Andy Reid.
I mean, he's one of
Kansas City.
No, but
it's so sometimes electric. Easy to overlook just because like the way that like sports writers talk about it nowadays and stuff. And it's like Mahomes loses a game and whatever, and Josh Allen, but really we are witnessing history with these guys. But to play devil's advocate a little bit, the defense that Steve Spagnuolo coached in New York was much more of a factor on the games than his defense in Kansas City, right? We can both agree that Kansas City relies on their offense, right, to win games. When he was the D coordinator in New York, it was like one of the most feared defenses in the league for like a couple year stretch. Like Justin Tuck, I think he got there. Strahan was still there. Osi Umenyiora was still there.
Well, yeah, because he was in there for that first Super Bowl win of the Giants.
2007.
Yeah, so Strahan was still there.
Strahan was still there.
I think
Osi, I think, was young. It was before JPP, I think.
Yeah, I think JPP was
the second Super Bowl.
2010 or something like that. Well, he was definitely in the second Super Bowl, but 2010.
This guy coached like some really tough, insane defenses. And like what his defenses did, they went to Green Bay, beat Brett Favre in Green Bay. That game is legendary. It'll go down as one of my favorites of all time. So it's tough. I mean, as a Giants fan, I might be a little biased when I say it, but like, dude, those Giants defenses that he coached, and those Giants defenses that he coached led to him getting a head coaching job. It didn't work out as a head coach for him, but those were some really impressive defensive units that he coached. got a Super Bowl there. He's still working in Kansas City. I think if he gets a second Super Bowl in Kansas City, like you said, it's undoubtedly
I
Kansas
really
City.
don't think.
But right now, I don't think it's undoubtedly.
There's a difference because the Chiefs, the Chiefs defense isn't fantastic at the moment. They're not fantastic.
But they spend more money on offense. They focus more on the offense.
It's
They
obviously
draft
so.
offense.
I understand, but I think that he's going to be more remembered because his longevity
Yeah.
in Kansas City. He's been there.
There's no reason for them to
He's only been he was only with the Giants for
And
2 seasons.
I don't think he even wants to go anywhere. He has a great spot, great thing right now in Kansas City. So yeah, we'll see how it goes in the next couple of years. But I know some Giants fans that really like Steve Spagnuolo. They were really happy with what he did in his time here in New York. What are you thinking about tonight? You have 49ers, Cardinals. I think Kyler Murray is still out.
Yeah, he's out. They're starting.
Confirmed he's out.
Yeah, he's
Colt
out.
McCoy's
He's out.
in.
Colt McCoy's playing.
It's tough for me. I'm gonna.
It's in
fantasy
Mexico
team
City,
right
so in neutral ground. But I do think that I do think the trend continues, and the Niners probably pick up a win.
The Niners just keep looking better every week.
Yeah, I mean they like CMC, Brandon.
Yeah.
Like it's just gonna keep going.
So hear me out. So I got a tough fantasy game this week, right? I need a win. I'm down by.
Wait, so you want my expertise?
I just want to hear what you think.
My expertise.
So I'm down by 11 points, 88-77. I have D-Hop left and George Kittle left.
Yeah.
He has Ayuk and the Arizona defense, which I kind of like my odds against the Arizona defense.
Kittle,
I think
who?
the 49ers, George Kittle.
Kittle and who?
D-Hop.
Yeah, it's over.
You think I win that game?
100%.
So I got to outscore
Yeah, I think
I
you
got to
get it.
outscore Ayuk and the Arizona defense by 11 points.
I think
with those two guys.
I think D-Hop does that alone.
He might.
I have some news out of this.
Playing, I'd feel a lot better. What is D-Hop not playing?
No, not out. I'm saying out of this game, away from this game.
Okay, go for it.
Kyle Pitts is on injured reserve.
He's on injured reserve.
Yeah, they just placed him on injured reserve. And Melvin Gordon got dropped from the Broncos.
I saw Melvin Gordon got dropped. I
which
don't
is
know why
crazy
they're
to me.
blaming that guy. Like that guy really. Okay, he had a couple fumbles, but like the problem is not Melvin Gordon, right? Am I wrong? Like I never lost to the Raiders.
I never saw
the Raiders just swept the Broncos.
Yeah, I never saw him as a problem. Obviously, he has the fumbling problem, but
that was a cool game too. Overtime.
He was wide. What terrible.
Did you see what he said after that game? Like, there's a lot of talk that this young cornerback who we talked about a couple of weeks ago, Patrick Surtain, was going to lock him up and take him down after the game. He basically said he's not there yet. He's not ready to cover me yet.
Oh, that just reminded me something. Can we talk about? Can I talk about one thing? I want to go back to the Giant game because it's one thought that I didn't.
Go for it.
I didn't want to forget, and I did until now. So I want to talk about Kayvon Thibodeau and Aiden Hutchinson.
I mean, I'm very unhappy with Kayvon Thibodeau's play.
So, if I can get let me get the results out of the
no problem.
The draft this year,
and then we'll go back because I do want to hear what you think for tonight.
So
we talk about fantasy, but we'll talk about game results too because this is a big game for the NFC West.
So obviously, in this year's draft, Aiden Hutchinson and Kayvon were both drafted in this draft. The Lions got Aiden Hutchinson at 2. Giants got him at 5. Giants got Kayvon at 5. Aiden had, I believe he's on a 3-game pick streak, and he picked a 2-game pick streak.
I don't know if it's a streak, but he has 2
no,
interceptions.
He picked someone off. I believe
picked off Aaron Rodgers.
I believe he's on a 3-game pick streak.
He has 2 picks.
Because who'd they play last week?
I don't know.
He picked off the line.
The Bears. He didn't get a pick at the Bears.
No, yes, he did. He picked off Justin Fields. I believe he's on a 3-game pick streak.
He did not get a pick that game. No, he didn't. I'm looking at the stats right here. He had a sack and 8 tackles.
So
no picks.
All right, so
he picked off Aaron Rodgers though, which is sick. But still, 2 interceptions by a D lineman. He already set that record, I think, right, by a rookie.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's just been a monster all season long.
Yeah,
and
so good.
That's where they were having it on the broadcast.
He was my preseason pick for defensive rookie of the year.
This is where on the broadcast they talked about it because obviously you're comparing both DNs and it's
Kayvon's at what, 1 sack?
1 sack and
does he have, 2 tackles for loss?
A couple pressures maybe.
Yeah, I've been pretty unhappy with how he's playing. And it's not like he's had a couple
fumble.
Unlucky breaks, but you watch him play and it just looks like he's getting beat every rep. Like he doesn't win pass rushes. I
think last week when he was playing against the Texans, he was playing against a good lineman, But something I saw,
We didn't have
and
a single sack against Jared Goff, not
yeah,
one.
yeah,
That's terrible.
something I saw is that whenever he's lining up in the end, someone said that he doesn't really get too far around, and that's what he needs to
Yeah,
do
use your speed,
to
use
space
something.
yourself from these linemen, because he's getting caught up in the mix, and he's getting caught up with the D line too, and that's just a recipe for disaster. He's going to get bodied
It's
off.
kind of like a taboo thing, like all these sports pages that I follow, they don't like hating on the rookies. Like they don't like criticizing. I'll say criticizing is a good word.
You do have to give him time to develop, which is always something that I want to talk about. Like
I think the time to develop that window gets smaller and smaller when you're the number 5 overall draft pick and
absolutely, I
so much
agree
hype
too.
around you coming out of college. Like I give him I don't know. I know Aziz has been out, our other defensive end, so that probably makes life a little tougher on him. Offenses focus on him a little more, but the window is getting smaller every week, my friend Kayvon. And Giants fans need to start seeing something, man. Especially
I don't want to give up.
Injuries.
I don't want to give up on him.
I'm not giving up.
I don't want to give up on him. I think
Kayvon,
he's an animal, and I think he could do
I
it.
need to see something, buddy. I need to see something. Nico bought your jersey.
Yeah,
I need to see something.
That's kind of why I'm holding on a little bit longer. I do.
I know. I'm not out on him. I'm not out.
No, I know,
all.
but I'm being a little bit
would
protective.
Really, really like to see something. Maybe like a 2-sack game on Thanksgiving would be awesome. That's a reach, I know. So but that would be awesome.
A report out of Ian Rappaport just said that the Cardinals activated Michael Dogby and Max Williams, but did not activate Hollywood Brown from the IR.
It's okay. More and more looks for D-Hop. That's fine. I would like Kyler to play this game. Kyler, when he plays, D-Hop's good for like 30. Colt McCoy, it's going to be tougher.
And Kyle Pitts suffered a torn MCL.
Oh, we hope he gets better soon because he is an exciting kid to watch. But at the same time, I feel like the Falcons are going to play it super safe with him. They did with Cordero.
I mean, they're not looking great this season. Obviously, they're going to wait for Marcus Mariota's not their quarterback. Yeah. And I don't.
Well, that's the thing. What happened? It could be what happened, like with the Cordell injury. Like because Cordell's on my fantasy team, so when he got hurt, I was reading all about it, and it was an injury that didn't require surgery, and like maybe a week or 2 off. But they said this season we don't really have these crazy goals to make the playoffs. Let's do the right thing. Let's get it fixed now. Take the time you need to rest. You know what I mean? So I hope Kyle Pitts gets better soon, but the Falcons didn't really have high expectations going into this season.
Yeah, I think
they're going to do their thing and rest and
they'll okay. And I want to get into something that I seem down about, which is coming up not this week, but should be coming up the week after, and that's where Odell Beckham lands.
Where Odell goes. I know. The Cowboys, when the Cowboys beat down the Vikings yesterday, that was tough. And in the back of my head, I'm like, Odell's watching this. And he just saw the Cowboys.
You know what? I'm starting to get angry about it because the problem with Odell, and we all know it because we've all experienced it before, is that the drama fills him. Yeah, the drama fuels and the drama builds, and he just loves it.
He could be a diva.
100% a diva. He's the most diva. I think one more person, maybe more diva, is Antonio Brown, and that's it.
Right? Antonio Brown's just in that job, but
yeah. I just think that because he said he narrowed down his possibilities from the Giants to the Cowboys.
Is that confirmed? Just those two?
Just those two at this point. And now I feel like he's going to lean into this rivalry and that we're playing on Thanksgiving.
Dude, I know.
And he said
it would hurt so bad to see him go to the
He
Cowboys,
said that he's going to make up his mind
after Thanksgiving.
After Thanksgiving.
So basically the end of the month. Damn.
I just think that he's feeding into it just so he can get money from somewhere and not another place, and that he's just being too like I hate when players do this. Like,
no, I mean, he's probably taking a lot of things into consideration.
And he even tweeted out after the Cowboys game, he said, "Oh, they went crazy."
I know.
Like, but referring to the Cowboys.
It would be huge to get him in New York. Obviously, with Wandell done for the season.
Out.
Like, we wouldn't.
I'm out.
You're out on Odell?
Out.
Dude, I would love to see Odell back
in
New York.
I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't think I don't want it. I don't think Joe Shane wants it. I think
Joe Shane wants it.
I don't think Brian Daboll wants it.
We need a receiver.
They don't want to deal with the diva. A receiver can come somewhere else, but dealing with him is a bigger problem, especially if he's asking for the money. Coming off 2 torn ACLs and a torn Achilles.
I don't know.
I don't want it.
But if he comes, if he comes to New York, though, he's the clear number 1 guy. If he goes to Dallas, CD is the number 1 guy. His ego, like, how does that work? I don't know.
He is an ever aging person, just like we all are. He's coming off an ACL injury, his second of his career, alongside the Achilles. He's going to ask for money. We don't have it. I don't want him. I don't want the drama. Is that too far? Is that too much?
We need a wide receiver though. We need a wide receiver so desperately bad.
We're not
And
going
what
anywhere.
are our other options? Dude?
We're not
practice
going.
Squad player.
We're not going anywhere this year.
Squad player out there.
We're not going anywhere this year. You think that we
It'd be nice to make the playoffs. Dude. You never know.
Make the playoffs, yes, but maybe win a wild card game. That's pretty much it. Paying Odell $15 million for that is ridiculous.
I know, I guess.
Especially if he's 33 years old, 34, however old he is.
I just see us at 7-3, and like, I'm not saying that we're giving up on the season by not getting Odell, but it feels like if we really want to go in for it, you know what I mean? Get that wide receiver, bring him back to New York.
He's 30 years old.
He's still got some football left in him, I think.
100% he has some football left in him. The whole problem is that he just...
Kenny caught 2 passes yesterday.
Yeah,
Kenny Galladay caught 2 passes. The fans started cheering and everything, and it was like,
saw like the sarcastic cheer from the crowd. It was very funny.
That was funny.
But I don't think that Odell should. I don't think we should sign him.
And
at this point, I don't think
Monday Night Football.
I don't think we will.
Let's get back to some Monday Night Football preview.
So we have
some Mexico City game?
Yeah, Cardinals 49ers in Mexico City.
Mexico City. How about that?
Elevation is very high in the stadium. It's almost like mile high. Like
Estadio Azteca.
There you go.
That's pretty cool.
Some good pronunciation. But yeah, I don't think.
Oh, did you know the Cardinals won both meetings last season?
I mean, they were kind of electric last season, no?
They swept the 2021 series.
Yeah,
they
were definitely. I mean, you're meeting both these teams, kind of being lackluster at this point. I mean, you have the 49ers 5-4. You have the Cardinals 4-6.
Who do you like to show out in this game? Is Debo back for San Francisco?
I don't think so. Unless he is activated.
Because the easy answer is Christian McCaffrey, but he really hasn't done anything like super crazy since he's been in San Francisco, right?
No, he's been rushed. No, yeah, he had that 3 touchdown game.
He threw for one,
caught one, and ran one.
That was pretty cool.
I mean, I think that's a pretty big
achievement. That was pretty exciting. I don't know. I think, the San Francisco 49ers are the safe bet.
Well, obviously, I mean, it's the Niners going against a backup Cardinals team who has been struggling.
Remember when Colt McCoy won a bunch of games for the Giants a couple years ago? He won like 2 or 3 in a row.
Colt McCoy.
Dude,
he's not a bad quarterback.
Dude, he was legit at Texas, man. He was legit.
He's definitely not a bad quarterback, excuse me, but I don't think
you don't see him doing it against the 49ers.
I don't think the Cardinals can win this game. Anyway, even if they had Kyler Murray, they've been struggling hard. They have a 2-game below 500 record, and it's just it doesn't sit with me.
So if the 49ers win, then they'll be tied with the Seahawks for first place in the division. Cardinals need to win to kind of keep in.
I mean, this could tell you all you need to know. ESPN has a prediction: 83%.
49ers.
That's one of the biggest I've seen in a while. I think that they're 10-point favorites.
Wasn't there an upset last week on Monday Night Football? There was.
Well, last week
Heineke beat
the
Eagles. That was Monday night, right?
Cam's not gonna like that one.
Cam's not gonna like that one.
This kid, look, he's looking at me.
Eagles won. You know what's crazy about that game? Did you see that pick that Jalen Hurts threw that went through AJ Brown's hands? And I couldn't help but think, damn, even when this guy throws an interception, it's a dot.
Yeah, it's a dot. It was a dot. I mean, I don't think it was Jalen Hurts' fault. I think that
AJ Brown was not expecting that ball to get there because he was double teamed. There was one defender who had his hands above AJ Brown. Jalen Hurts fit the ball through that guy's hands. Then it went through AJ Brown's hands, and then the second defender was able to pick it off. But even it hit his hands. Like
I think in that Eagles game, I really
Heineke, man, he's crazy.
All right, let's all calm down.
I think he's fun to watch.
He's fun to watch, obviously, but I think Heineke's the same as like Cooper Rush in that fashion. They're backups. Even though Heineke did win the starting role, Carson Wentz is going to sit next week, and he is starting.
Let me ask you something. Because I had a hot take for you after watching Philly. After this week, Jalen Hurts has moved to number one, I think, for me for the MVP.
After watching that game,
Well, his game wasn't great against
they
the Colts,
lost.
but I think no, they won yesterday.
No, I'm talking
That
about
was
the
Monday.
Eagles. They played the Colts. The Colts are a bad team. Don't let
Josh Allen's still behind him.
Don't let
unless you put Mahomes at number
don't
one.
let 100%. But don't let interim head coach Jeff Saturday fool you into thinking the Colts have a good roster. They've just been running the ball more.
I like Jalen Hurts, dude. He is exciting to watch.
I mean,
he's just playing like on another level.
I mean,
Mahomes too, though. Mahomes is so tough
if you want to look at that loss against the Commanders, Jalen Hurts 175 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception.
Did he run for something nice too?
Taylor Heineke had 211 yards.
All right.
No touchdowns, by the way. Taylor Heineke threw no touchdowns against the Eagles,
so
and they lost.
I'm gonna tell you right now. So all the I'm on this website, giving the odds. Mahomes is favored on every book as the favorite to win MVP. Tua is second on every book.
Wait, who?
Actually, not true. Tua is second on 3 out of 4 books on here. Jalen Hurts is third on here, second at 2 of the books. So it's Patrick Mahomes is 1, and then it's like Tua is 2A, Hurts is 2B.
You know what? I just had this thought. They beat the Colts by 1. I think the Eagles are on a massive downtrend. They're losing.
They won that game, dude. I don't know. A win is a win.
How'd they win that game? They won by 1 point.
Jalen Hurts put the team on his back, snuck in for the touchdown.
Yeah, okay. It just happened. It kind of reminded me of the Daniel Jones touchdown in Tampa, like where the C parts in front of him, the lineman just pushed them out of the way, and the Colts D line is just terrible. So like it opened up, he had 40 feet to run.
I don't know. I just like watching him play. I just think he's on another level. He's just executing everything.
I disagree. I think Mahomes is vastly better. I think that Tua's vastly better because Tua
is not vastly better than Jalen Hurts. No, he's not.
Tua slings the ball like Jalen Hurts doesn't know how to.
What are you talking about? Jalen Hurts throws some nice passes, dude. He throws nice passes.
Okay. When he's playing the terrible opposition that he's playing against, and their defense is terrible in the secondary, and he throws to AJ Brown, who's wide open in the end zone.
Yeah, dude, he had that game where AJ Brown caught 3 touchdowns. He was throwing dots.
AJ Brown was a dog.
Jalen Hurts was throwing dots.
I disagree. I think that 100% I agree. If anything, he's third.
I just
not
really
fourth.
I just really want to win fantasy this week. Is Jalen Hurts the number 1 fantasy football quarterback?
I believe Justin Fields is now. No,
I'm gonna check that out because
I think it's Justin Fields. I have it up right here.
Jalen Hurts is number 3.
Yeah, I think it's Justin Fields. He has been for the past couple of weeks. Let's see.
Samaje Perine had 30 fantasy points, 3 receiving touchdowns.
Well, at the moment,
That's
whoa,
crazy.
I'm way wrong. I guess the last couple of weeks have brought Justin Fields up
Who's
at
number 1,
top
2?
5. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, Justin Fields.
Where's Lamar on there?
6th, right after Justin Fields.
See, I picked Lamar.
Then Geno.
I picked Lamar early. I think I picked him as the 3rd overall quarterback. It was in my league. Allen went first, Mahomes went second, and I swooped in and got Lamar 3rd. He started off strong.
Terrible. It's not a terrible pick.
I know, but I need a little more. I need a little more out of Lamar.
I'm looking at Trevor Lawrence in my league, and he's like available, and he's like the 6th best, like the 10th best.
He's inconsistent, but he's probably top 10 fantasy production.
And he's just not picked up.
He had a bye this week.
Everyone has all the other.
He had a bye this week. That's probably why someone dropped him.
Yeah, that's a good point. I forgot about that.
But if he's there, I'd pick him up. He's my backup right now for Lamar.
I got Daniel Jones. I don't need no backup. I got Joe Burrow and Daniel.
Dude,
Jones.
how about Devontae Adams leading the league in receiving touchdowns? I think him and Travis Kelce are tied. He's a dog.
The fact that Travis Kelce is leading the league in touchdowns is crazy.
Pick. Devontae Adams is a dog. How about Devontae Adams for MVP?
No. Really?
Nah, I mean, I'm joking.
His team is terrible.
No, that wasn't a serious claim. That wasn't a serious claim. That wasn't a serious claim. He's my fantasy team MVP.
I think my MVP, if it's not a quarterback, can I say it far back so no one hurts me?
Tyreek Hill. Austin Eckler? Really? Nah.
He's a dog.
Yeah, he's exciting to watch, but there are guys that have just better stats than him.
Austin Eckler, fantasy-wise, is the number 1 player in fantasy. He has, let's see,
He's got all those yards after catch. That's what he leads the league in. But I don't think he has a lot of touchdowns or anything crazy.
He has 7 rushing touchdowns and 4 receiving touchdowns.
That's pretty good. 11 touchdowns.
He has 11 touchdowns. He also has
not a ton of running yards, though. Not a ton. I don't even think he's top 10.
No, he's definitely not top 10 in rushing. Let's see right now.
I remember we were looking at this when we did our mid-season awards.
Yeah.
And the only stat that he was beating Tyreek Hill in receiving stuff was he had more yards after catch.
I just think
that's kind of also like a slewed.
He has 540 rushing yards on 123 rushing attempts.
That's pretty good. What's that? That's over 5 a carry, right?
4.5.
4.5.
Yeah.
I mean that's pretty good.
4.5 yards a carry. His receive.
He's not an MVP.
He has he has like 437 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns, averaging
to break
6.
the single season receiving yards record.
Yeah, well no. Yeah, I mean that's obviously the favorite, but just to combat you, that's probably my second or third, or whatever it is.
No, that's not a.
But I do think Tyreek Hill is probably the best player in football.
I do. Devontae has been eating for me in fantasy. He's been keeping me in all these games. Oh, man, I really could use a win tonight, Nico. D-Hop to like drop a 30 bomb.
What's your record?
4-6.
All right.
4-6, but top 8 in my league make the playoffs because it's 16 people.
Yeah, I forgot about that. How big it is. You want to ask?
Just squeak a couple up.
You want to ask me my record?
What are you 8-1?
8-2.
8-2.
I lost 2 after going.
Must be nice, brother. It must be nice.
After going.
There. And you won again this? Is that including this week? Or
no?
You're gonna be 9-2 after this week. Yeah. Who went off for you this week? Who had a good game?
A lot. I mean, Travis Kelce had 35. Joe Burrow had 34. Tyler Bass, my kicker, 23
goals did he 20. Do you have that stat right there?
Yeah, 23. He put up 23 points. That is, I believe, 6 field goals.
Did he go 6 for 6?
6 for 6 from he had 150-yard.
He's probably like, I wish I played in a dome every week, man. I wish I played in a dome every single
150 plus yarder, 2 40 plus yarders, and 3 from inside 35 with 1 extra point.
Yeah, so anybody who's watching out there who didn't know, so that game was supposed to be in Buffalo. Buffalo had this insane blizzard, like 20-something inches of snow, maybe more. Like,
well, yeah, they got
the total time.
Yeah, I think it was 75 inches.
The game was moved to Detroit, which is an indoor dome, beautiful stadium, Ford Field, pretty new. And this guy goes 6 for 6 on field goals. He's like, can I play inside every week?
Yeah, he was like,
awesome.
I think I'm gonna go to Detroit. I think I'm gonna play for the Lions.
It's something about kicking in Detroit. That's where Justin Tucker set that record last year.
It's
in Detroit.
It's in a dome. I mean, it's a lot easier.
There are other dome stadiums out there. I don't know what it is.
Younghoe Koo plays in a dome. He's one of the best kickers in football. You have to think about it. You can even bring up the Giants.
Justin Tucker plays outside though, and he's
I think he's just different. I think he's just
okay. Also,
different.
that's what we're talking about this Giants game.
Yeah.
This score does not accurately represent this game. Graham Cano missed 2 extra points, which he never does.
Yeah.
And then we drop a wide open 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
Like a wide open. Like it's not even like a debatable, like
I think the way I think that
hit
it
wasn't in the hands wide open. He bounced it off his face mask.
If I could be completely honest, I don't think it was a I think it was a badly coached game. It wasn't a badly coached game at all. It was a bad played game by the players. The only thing I would critique the coaches about was putting Adoree Jackson on the kick return.
Also, there was 1 4th and 5 that we went for in the third quarter.
You have to. I
thought there was still enough time.
No, at that moment, they knew what they were in. Nothing was working. They had to go for it. I agreed with it. I agreed with it. It only turned out to be 3 points when they didn't get it.
I didn't like that call. That wasn't I didn't like that one.
We were down by
but it was still like the 20. Third quarter.
We were down by 20.
I didn't love that one.
I think we were down by 18 at that point.
I didn't love that one. I didn't love that one.
Which is crazy.
Everyone's different. I'm not a coach. I don't know. But I did not love that 4th and 5. There was still plenty of time left in that game. Daniel Jones was passing it pretty well. He did have the 2 picks.
Yeah,
Both of those were on him. Those were not deflections.
I want to say it looked like a good game because he was throwing the ball more than we've seen, but it wasn't a good game from him.
Well, we had to throw the ball. The running game was just not working.
2 mistakes
we had to try and get back into it. But what does that tell you from Daniel Jones that he could still throw for 300? He threw for over 300 yards with no name receivers out there. I mean, the guy's got something.
I don't know how to see it. I really don't know how to see it.
Just how bad are the Broncos, dude? I know you've been hating on the Broncos all season. They threw up another stinker, lost to the Raiders. That was bad. The Bills took care of business. They beat the Browns 31-23. My friend who's a Bills fan in the group chat made a good point. We have a Bills fan and a Browns fan in my group chat. And he said that, like, the Browns didn't play a terrible game. Like, if you watch that game, there's, like, a couple silly mistakes and whatnot. But the Browns with Deshaun Watson, they could be a somewhat legit team. Amari Cooper looked good. Donovan Peoples-Jones looks like he's getting better every single week. I'm not saying they're a playoff team this year just because how long he was suspended and whatever. But going forward, Nick Chubb's on contract. Amari Cooper sticking around.
I just think it wasn't really clicking because everyone kind of knew, like, okay, so our franchise guy is coming back in 9 weeks, so there's nothing really.
I think he's eligible to play next week.
He's practicing at the moment. Yeah,
So
I don't think it's the week coming up. It's the week after.
I mean, that dude was electric before he got in all that trouble, man.
Well, I mean,
he was electric.
I
Do you
don't
remember
know.
that playoff game against the Bills? Came back from like down 17 or something.
Yeah.
Crazy. That guy was
he was nuts, but I think that what he did was wrong, and that what the Browns did was
100%. But I think he got it sorted out legally. I think he's not going to go to jail. He took his suspension. I mean, they let Michael Vick back in the league. I don't know.
Different.
I'm not a.
I don't know.
I'm not a.
Anyway,
I don't know.
whatever. We'll see what.
I don't agree with what he did. It's bad look for the NFL. Bad for him. But I don't know. What are you gonna, like, keep him out forever? I don't know. It's not my call to make. I'm thankful it's not my call to make.
Yeah,
I would not know what to do.
I mean, they
position.
obviously heard backlash from, the media and everything.
Do you think if he goes out there and is, like, super nice, like, just playing out of his mind, and the Browns
people will forget?
Do you think Browns fans, like, embrace him?
100%.
Deshaun,
Browns fans.
Go Deshaun.
I'm not gonna say. I was gonna say something about Browns fans. So I'm not gonna say. Forget that.
I don't know. I also think the Browns are just quarterback cursed. I just think the careers go to die in Cleveland.
Johnny Manziel.
There's a
Baker.
whole list. There's so many.
I think the Browns organization, like, they've gotten better, but they've always kind of been lackluster.
The Rams lost to the Saints. They're so bad, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
everyone's given up on the Rams. Matthew Stafford.
Yeah,
what is good with that guy, dude?
I've given up on the Rams.
I think he's the highest paid player in the entire NFL this year. And he's
don't
put
play
up
like
a
it.
measly 3 wins.
Don't play like it. That's for sure.
I don't know. What do you do with that guy? You think McVay's out of there?
No, I don't think it's his fault. I really don't think it's his fault. I think it's the players' fault. They're not playing good. Like, no one's playing good. Their starting quarterback's not playing good. Their number one wide receiver, best wide receiver in the league.
It's going to go down as, like, one of the worst Super Bowl hangovers.
Yeah, 100%.
Ever. Like, ever.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know who's had a worse record. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but I don't think I can.
After winning a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think also, but
Did a team go winless, maybe?
No way. Not after. No. There's only a handful of teams that have ever gone winless. Detroit, Cleveland. I think that's it. The Jaguars won 1 game that year, right?
Yeah, I mean,
the Commanders beat the Texans. I'm just going through here so we could chat about games that I feel like any other ones that were on. Bengals beat the Steelers. The Steelers did put up 30 points, though. Najee Harris looks like he's back. He had himself a good game.
He's
20 carries, 90 yards, 2 touchdowns.
He's electric.
He started off slow, but
you see him hurdle up over that person?
He's so good,
that's
dude.
crazy.
He's
and
like
he's
6'4" hurdling dudes.
Huge.
Crazy.
Seeing him next to one of those other players, I forgot who it was, but he's like 6'5", and he's ginormous.
T. Higgins went off 9 receptions for 148 yards with Jamar Chase out.
Yeah.
Good for T. Higgins.
I mean, I think that Cincinnati team really has like 3 kind of number 1 receivers. Like Jamar, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. Those are
Tyler
fantastic.
Boyd's not number 1, but he's
you know what I mean.
He's a great number 3.
Yeah.
He's a really good number 3 to have.
He's a good number 2 to have.
Samaje as the backup running back to catch 3 touchdowns. That's like that next man up mentality. That's awesome. Wait, so let me see what's going on in the AFC North, Nico. Because that's an interesting division. The Ravens keep winning.
The Ravens are
all right. So here's what it looks like.
Yeah, read it to me.
Ravens first place at 7-3. Bengals second place at 6-4. Browns and Steelers both out of it at 3-7. So you got the Ravens on a 4-game win streak, Bengals on a 2-game win streak, and I think they play each other, I want to say next week. No, not for a couple weeks. Not for a couple weeks. They played once this year, and the Ravens.
So essentially, it's just a battle between
Ravens
and Bengals.
Those are like 2 really good teams.
Yeah, right
that's
now.
That's going to come down to week. They play each other week 18. Might come down to week 18.
Yeah, that's going to be crazy. I mean, I feel like the Bengals are the better team when everyone's healthy. 100%.
You think so?
Yeah.
With Jamar healthy, T. Higgins
I
healthy,
mean,
Joe Mixon.
you know, the
Lamar's
Ravens are
electric, though.
playing
He's
good.
crazy.
I just don't think that pieces like the Bengals have. I mean, the Bengals were in the Super Bowl.
AFC East is another one that I like looking at these standings. So first place, Dolphins at 7-3. Second place, Bills 7-3. Third place, Patriots 6-4. Fourth place, Jets 6-4. So one game separates the entire division right now. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And they're all above 500.
Who are the who are each playing? Like who are the Ravens coming up on?
I'll give you Ravens real quick. They got Jacksonville this week.
Okay.
Jacksonville, then the Broncos, then the Steelers, then the Browns. So that's not a bad stretch for the Ravens right there.
100%. I think that's.
You have
I think
the
it's
Jaguars who are bottom of the league, Broncos who are bottom of the league, Steelers who are 3-7 right now, Browns who are 3-7, and then the Falcons, then the Steelers again. That's not a bad stretch for Lamar and the boys. Let's see who the Bengals have. A little tougher, a lot tougher. Titans, Chiefs are the next two games. Then you got Browns, Buccaneers, Patriots. But Titans, Chiefs is tough. Titans have been on a roll.
I know that's the.
Are they going to win the AFC South again? Probably, right?
Who?
The Titans.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume so. They kind of just picked up, and no one's stopping them.
They're 7-3. The next closest is the Colts at 4-6.
Oh, it's over. Yeah, I mean, they've been playing fantastic after like kind of like those 3 slumpy weeks at the beginning of the year. Yeah, but they've been playing really good, and I don't see them as.
And they've just been consistently atop of that division. For
they always. I mean, I just think that when you have, it's kind of unfair. I mean, I don't want to say it's unfair, but Jaguars, not great. Texans, not great. Terrible, actually. Colts, not great.
Texans got their running back, though, which is huge because it's been a while since since Arian Foster.
Like I just had a realization. All of these teams have, like, could be or are A-class caliber running backs. You have the Jaguars who have Etienne. You have the Colts who have Jonathan Taylor. The Texans who have Pierce, and the Titans who have Henry.
The difference is the Titans have a quarterback in Ryan Tannehill. He's not a Pro Bowl quarterback, but they have a quarterback.
A decent. I think that
he's proven more than Davis.
The Jaguars also
proven more than Trevor Lawrence.
Well,
but Trevor Lawrence has got to win games though. Tannehill wins games. He gets the wins.
Yeah. I think the problem lies is like the Jags are young.
They spent a lot of money this offseason, though, to build up that roster, turn things around.
Yeah, the Jags are really young, and the Texans are really, really, like, build. Yeah. The Colts are in this weird limbo, and the Titans are just there. I think that the Titans probably, without Henry, maybe it looks a little different, but they do have him, so they're just going to run through the table.
Let's see what other divisions are doing. The Chiefs are atop the AFC West, 8-2, best record in the AFC. Looking like they're going to get another first-round bye. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, the AFC North will be interesting, and the AFC East will be interesting. Let's look at some NFC stuff.
I think the AFC East...
Dude, everyone in the NFC East is above 500, too. 9-1, 7-3, 7-3, 6-5. Giants are in third place now in the division.
The NFC.
The NFC East.
Yeah, I thought you said AFC, sorry.
The NFC West is going to be interesting.
Talk about it.
The NFC West is going to be interesting, too. Seahawks are in first at 6-4. The 49ers and Cardinals play tonight. 49ers are 5-4. Cardinals are 4-6.
Yeah.
Vikings pretty much have the NFC North wrapped up.
Well, but that brutal game yesterday. But
that's really bad. They lost 40-3.
Yeah. That's the biggest loss they've had since like the 50s.
Okay, before Nico, I was hating on the Falcons a little bit. They're just one game back of the Bucs.
I mean, I think at this point, I think that...
Let's see who the Falcons have coming up.
Yeah, I think that's the worst division in the league.
Dude, it would be huge if the Falcons could beat the Commanders next week.
I mean, that would be awesome. You have the Panthers, you have the Bucs, you have the Saints, and you have the Falcons. All are they? Is there one team above 500 in that?
No, first place is 5-5.
That's crazy.
Yeah. You know what's crazy too? That like whoever wins this division is probably gonna have a worse record than the wild card team that they have to play.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, 100%.
That's just like when football's like, oh come on, man, like. You gotta have to go to Tampa with those cannons that they shoot off, and
we're gonna be.
You know they do that. They have the pirate ship, and like it's so loud. It's just like
crazy. Oh my!
Dude, it's so loud.
And I noticed it over the weekend. I kind of said it to myself. There's no team other than the Vikings that the crowd is so in play. I think they've even beaten the 12th man in Seattle.
Really?
100%. The whole Skull Nation, the whole chant, crazy.
That is crazy. That's really electric.
You have
Wait,
everyone.
I know this is completely off topic, but we were talking about fireworks in the cannon. A good friend of mine graduated from the University of South Carolina. He went for the Tennessee game this weekend. Tennessee was number 5 when they played. They've dropped. South Carolina beat Tennessee, who was number 1 just a couple weeks ago. South Carolina beat Tennessee 63-38. They ran out of fireworks, Nico, to shoot off.
I remember.
So the last 2 touchdowns, there were no fireworks because they ran out. They scored so many touchdowns. They rushed the field. It was crazy.
This is something like I kind of wish that the Giants had something
Hendon
like
Hooker
this.
tore his ACL. He was like one of the Heisman favorites, the quarterback for Tennessee.
Yeah, I saw.
So we hope that he has a good recovery because that kid is so much fun to watch. Just like slinging the ball when he beat Alabama and they tore down the goalpost. That was, oh my god, that was something different.
I hate
Georgia continues to roll.
I just wait.
Dude, you know what we got this weekend? If you're not doing anything on Saturday, Ohio State, Michigan.
Oh yeah,
and it's 2 versus 3. That's gonna be insane.
Yeah, I mean,
Michigan won it last year, the first time in a long time.
Boy, that was a whole like story that
I
they.
wonder if Adam's listening. Adam, the guy who usually drops some comments, big Ohio State guy, big Ohio State guy.
I remember last year it was like it was breaking. It was like breaking the streak for like, I think it was like 20 years or something like that, or like 15 or something. It was more than 10. I think
it was double digit. Yeah,
it had to be.
Yeah, so
yeah,
I'm not the biggest college football guy. I'll watch it if there's like these really historic matchups and fun stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean, like right now you see they're both 11-0.
Remember last year, Aiden Hutchinson, he does the face paint. It's just
this
game is going to be good.
It's all this thing.
CJ Stroud, the quarterback for Ohio State, this is going to be a big game for him.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these SEC quarterbacks are going off. Let's see something from the Big Ten.
And this is huge. And this is huge in terms of Big Ten standings, college football standings.
Whoever wins this game has I think it's like over a 95% chance to make the playoff.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're seeing both. There ain't no teams.
Number 2 versus number 3. We're getting a little college football preview, like a little playoff preview this week.
I mean, I think that
it'll be fun.
I really haven't been watching college football this year.
We don't have to go into it and break it down, but if you're a football fan, it's going to be some good football
if you know college football, I haven't been watching just because
we get a bunch of games on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Our Giants play.
They do.
And we're going to be positive, right?
No.
We're going to try be positive.
We're going to be negative because
no, we're not. Dude, we got one more day of classes tomorrow, a little Italian, and then we're done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No practice this week.
What team? I was going to ask you a dumb question about what team you support in college football, but I think I know. You're an Orange fan?
I do pull for the Syracuse. It's been tough. Iona doesn't have a football team, so it's tough.
Yeah.
I do pull for the Syracuse Orange, but they had a great start to the season. Started 6-0, and have now lost 5 straight games.
I mean, if it
is so bad.
If it makes you feel any better, like totally out of left field.
How's
but
Baylor doing?
Baylor's not doing great. They were beating.
They bring Matt Rule back.
They will next season.
That'd be fun.
No, they were beating TCU.
I like the reunions. They were beating TCU, right?
Yeah, they were playing a fantastic game, like in like crazy like it was like they came back. It was tied going into the second half. They came back. They were winning, and then they just kind of
college football stuff.
And then they I think they've lost.
Do you watch any college basketball? I like college basketball because it's
I haven't watched any
games.
I really haven't watched any basketball. I barely watched the Knicks.
Stink. Oh my god, the Knicks.
I don't think they stink. I just think they're not really bonded.
They got blown out by the Suns last time.
Jalen Brunson's phenomenal though.
RJ phenomenal.
I think he's
RJ stinks, bro.
I think he's a great player.
Stinks. RJ's jump shot is so broken. He needs to go see Lethal Shooter. He needs to come train with some Rick Pitino or something. I don't know.
Come here and just work out.
He's got what's the Carey Jr.?
Carey Jr.
He's got to do something because that jump shot, Nico, is so ugly. I watched Obi Toppin shoot a 3 the other day. It hit the top of the backboard and bounced into the second row of the stands.
Who was that?
This
Obi?
is a professional NBA player.
That was Obi?
Shot a 3.
He's terrible.
Nico, it hit the top of the backboard with so much force. Like, he chucked this thing.
I feel like
it hit the top of the backboard and went into the second row of the stands.
I feel like the Knicks are just like, as everything starts to go good again.
Like, when he shoots it, I brace. Like, I'm at home on my couch, and he shoots it. I
I
like
feel like we're going. We
flinched.
came into the season. We're just like, all right, this is gonna be a new beginning. Everyone had like kind of like back and forth, whatever. Jalen Brunson
Same old.
is playing good. Obi Toppin and RJ Barrett
Not good
have been
enough.
playing terrible.
RJ Barrett's jump shot is so broken, dude. You got to do something. You got to do
He
something.
should switch hands, become a righty.
Become a righty. Do something, man.
Might be
I don't
better.
know.
All right, we've been
know.
all over the place. Let's
Yeah,
get
this
outta
was a
here.
fun show today. I know we're just all over the place.
We've been
It's,
chatting
you
back
know,
and forth. I hope everyone has a
it's- yeah.
fantastic Thanksgiving.
Yeah, enjoy your break, everyone. We'll be back next Monday. Hopefully, relaxed, refreshed, a full belly of food.
Maybe an outline.
Maybe an outline. Who knows? But today was fun. We kind of just wang it. I know we were a little upset about the Giants' loss, but we get football again on Thursday. Another shot for redemption. Let's split the series with the Cowboys. Let's do it. Let's do it, DJ.
Let's go Giants.
Do it, Saquon.
Let's go Giants.
Dude, with Saquon, anything's possible. Anything's possible. Thanks for listening
See you
today,
guys.
everyone. Enjoy your break. We'll see you guys in a week. Take care.